Hello there, Internet. How's it going? Welcome back to the show. Thanks for clicking on this one. My name is Pat Dan, and today we're on Reddit Gets Drawn Badly. I was doing a little hunt here looking for a photograph that looked interesting. This one looks these are pretty cool. I'll admit these are some interesting photos. But I have already chosen a photograph. Okay, you're gonna want to brace yourself. It's a little scary, a little jarring. When I first saw it, it kind of it made me jump out of my chair a bit. It's okay. So this is the photo I've chosen. I don't understand exactly what kind of look this is. I'd like to think this is like a daily look, you know? I'd like to think that this wasn't a one off, hey, I'm going to take a photo for Reddit and post it to the Draw Me subreddit so people can have a fun picture to draw. Like, I'd like to imagine a world where this is like daily wear. This is just who I am, welcome to my world kind of post. So we're gonna pretend that that's the case. Just for me personally, I have my reference images pulled up. I'm putting them to the side because I don't want to clutter the view with them. All right, and that's just how it's gonna be, and you're gonna have to deal with it. And I'm sorry, but I make the rules. Unfortunately, I know you hate to hear it, but you know it has to be said on occasion. Not all the time. Not all the time. Sometimes we can ignore it. That was not one of those times, but you know. Okay. So here's the dealio. I want to try to capture this essence, right? I want to try to give homage to the vibes that I'm experiencing from this image or set of images that have been procured here. I would not like to do anything that's like trying too hard to be accurate because I think that's a recipe for disaster. So instead, my plan is simple. Okay, it consists of one main step, which is ignore the haters. I think that goes without saying. Ignoring the haters is just kind of a daily task that we have to trudge through. However, apart from that daily trudgery, we're gonna have to do some extra hater ignoring on this one through the idea that we will be going our own way, not following the rules to an even greater extent than we might typically do, which we'll see here. Okay? Maybe we just try to go in with our black here. It's a little bit crazy looking. It's a little bit dark, but I do want to have some, contrast in my image here. So unfortunately, you got to do what you got to do. I don't know. Maybe that's fortunate. Maybe that's fortunate. Maybe it's a good thing that you got to do what you got to do. But sometimes it hurts a little bit to tell you the dang truth of it. Now, I do have news for you guys. By news, I mean update about this current second, what is going on at this exact moment. I'll let you guys know. Currently 1:17 in the AM. It is Tuesday. Actually, no, it is now Wednesday, but Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, I guess you could say, if you wanted to be specific, which I know some people enjoy a little specificity, so that's for you specific heads out there. I know you're watching. Anyways, okay, it is currently that beautiful, beautiful time late in the eve. I do have class tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. But I've found myself in a state where I do not consider my sleep in any extremely significant way. Um, I'm a bit of a menace, you might say, a bit of a freak. I've been called that. Okay, I've been called that, and it's okay if you want to call me that. I'm not too upset by it. A little bit upset. I'm not gonna lie to you. It does upset me in the slightest bit, but just like a tad, you know. I'm not gonna be up in arms about it necessarily, but you could be sparing with the title. Okay, you don't need to be throwing it around every single time you refer to me, but you know, it's there as an option. And seeing as it is 1:19 a.m., I thought it fitting that I drink a little energy drink before recording. Very smart choice. If you know anything about energy drinks, you know that they're meant to be had in the middle of the night, typically. Best place to enjoy them, best time to enjoy them, even if you dare say that. And I don't think that today's any exception. So I was like, you know what? Got to use them for the way that God intended, and I'm not going to break those rules. And so I did as such. And here we are today. All right. Now, I do notice there's like a cultural separation between like two main groups of people. The entire human race can be separated into these two main groups. There are the energy drinkers and the coffee drinkers, right? These are two types of people I'm sure you're familiar with. You've probably encountered both sides of the spectrum in your day to day, unless you're very sheltered and like live in a coffee drinker's paradise or vice versa. But I would hope you have some more life experience than that, just for your own sake. Mine as well. My goodness, I am phlegmy today. Anyways, I think that the coffee drinkers versus the energy drinkers is a feud that's been going on since like before coffee and energy drinks were invented. To be quite honest with you, I think it's the dawn of time was when coffee versus energy drinkers was first announced, you could say. I was there for that announcement. It was a very, very exciting day. Um, Longest war in human history. Uh, and inconclusive to this day. What is the main issue with the coffee drinker versus energy drinker feud? You might be thinking these groups of people don't seem like particularly aggressive towards one another. That's if you're one of the people that thinks that, I'm not upset at you for thinking that. You know, you're probably a reasonable person. You probably have some other area of expertise that's not this, clearly. But I'm here to let you know you are wrong on this front. The amount of animosity that's hidden in plain sight on the day to day between these two groups, coffee drinkers and energy drinkers, is off the charts. I would say, I mean, coffee drinkers are currently winning the battle quite heavily, I would say, and energy drinkers are very marginalized. I say this as an energy drinker myself, so maybe a bit biased. I'll admit to that much, but only a chat, only like the smallest smidgen of bias exists in me. Okay, like imagine a droplet of energy drink has spilt on the floor, and it's so little such that you don't even notice it's gone, and you don't even see it fall out of your can. That's how little of bias I think exists within me, despite my close relation to the topic, um, which, as any good journalist knows, is the exact kind of thing you want to hear when giving an unbiased review of current events. Now that we've established all of that, I'm going to let you know just how dire the situation is, okay? So, as I'm sure you have gathered at this point, there is like quite a bit of microaggression, sorry, that occurs between the coffee drinkers and the energy drinkers. I just probably yesterday, I think it was, have witnessed it firsthand, and I don't really understand it. I was okay, so I was communing with the coffee drinkers. I'll admit I'm a little bit of a traitor, but not much. I consider myself impartial, although I do drink a lot more energy drinks than I do coffee. In fact, I've really never had a full cup of coffee ever, I don't think. Um so that's a good point to bring up. And I will tell you that it's the truth, okay? The rumors are true, but I still think I have a good grasp on the whole scope of the situation nonetheless, all right? And to really tell you how it is, the coffee drinkers just don't approve of our lifestyle. Uh and and I I hate to admit this, but I think that they're a little bit warranted in that, just a slight bit, just like a very slight bit, but they've blown it widely out of proportion, like to a degree that is unprecedented. Um, and I would not expect from like a civilized society. I will say the energy drinkers can be a bit much. Okay, if you've ever seen somebody, particularly a Monster Energy fiend, you'll know that they can get a little rowdy. They can get a little upset. There's definitely a bit of monster mood swings, as we call them, um, that we're not unfamiliar to as energy drinkers. Okay, and we know it's an issue, but there's not much we can do to stop it. It's an addiction that must be quenched, fulfilled. It's an addiction that you must fulfill. Okay, and the coffee drinkers have taken this idea and ran with it. All right, they think that just because we have a couple, little character defects, that it defines who we are, and it's not. It's simply not the case. We are so much more, so much larger than the drink in our hands, and I think as coffee drinkers, they themselves should know this better than anybody. Okay, because I was sitting, convening with the coffee drinkers. Uh, it was you could call it like a council meeting. We were discussing what do you call it? Terms and conditions of our agreement. Okay, of our peace treaty. Still in the works, hasn't been finalized just yet. And they brought up a certain, I don't know, misguided judgment where they really they swore off the energy drink in its entirety. I was saying like, oh, you guys drink like a lot of coffee, huh? Like you're like a 3 cups a day kind of fiend like that. I mean, I personally don't follow that, but I can respect it. And then they said, yeah, unprompted, they were like, yeah, it's so much better than energy drinks though. Like so much better than it. And okay, I can see the health, concerns that one might have on that front. It's okay. It's okay if you're worried about the way that your body will hold up against the elements found in such an extreme drink, such as an energy drink. Okay, I don't blame you for being worried. However, in this particular case, I do have agency over my own choices, unfortunately. And that would lead me to say that I think you don't get to decide what I want to consume. Not today, at least. Another day, maybe I'll consider, but not today of all days. Okay, today's just not the time. And I really think that they were trying to like get under my skin with that comment. Obviously, cool-headed guy that I am, I didn't let it get to me. And so they kind of laid off a little bit. They were like, "All right, this guy's too cool for school, cool as a cucumber. He's got his shit together. We ought to leave him alone." Is in fact exactly the the words that they said to my face, which was weird. They weren't saying it to each other. They were like looking at me in the eyes, clearly intending for me to hear it. It was kind of a power play on their part of some sort. I don't really understand the whole idea behind that particular move, but I'm still working through that. We'll figure it out. And anyway, I just wanted to bring this to your attention, you guys. I just wanted you to understand it's hard out here, okay? As an energy drinker. And if any coffee drinkers are in the chat, if any coffee drinkers are hearing this message, I want you to know that we're people too. And there's not, honestly, genuinely, do you think a little energy drink every once in a while is that much worse than, you know, three coffees in the span of a single day? Like, can we be honest here? Can we be so for real? Is what I'm asking of you just this once, because I know a lot of the time it's hard to be so for real, but I really want you to be so for real. I don't think it's that crazy of a choice to make to be a bit of an energy drink fiend, you know? I don't think it is. I'm sorry. I'm really genuinely am sorry, okay? But there's only so much I can do to explain to you the the idea of personhood. And if you don't have the ability to wrap your head around that, there's really not much more I can do for you. And I'm sorry, not just for my own mistakes, but sorry for your troubled life. Clearly, I mean, the amount of struggle and strife you must go through on a daily basis, just based on your impression of the world around you, must be entirely unbearable. And that's probably why you're so grumpy in the mornings and feel the need to compensate your mood with, external forces, which is, a-okay. You do you, man. You do you. All right. So let's try to get like the eyes as creepy as one could possibly fathom. I'm looking for deadly piercing. Does anyone have a deadly piercing on their bingo board for today? Guessing not. Guessing not. I don't hear a bingo. All right. Okay, no bingos for today. That's all right. That's all right. We don't got to get one every single time. Would be nice, but sometimes you just got to have a bad day. What makes the good ones more fulfilling, all right? I do think coffee and energy drink addiction is like a genuine thing, right? I do think it exists. However, I think it's one of the least uh one of the least important addictions to fight at this current moment. And I think for the people who are severely inflicted by it, they know, and like they can work through it. Like if coffee addiction is your biggest problem, like for real, you don't have to worry about anything else you got going on, really. Like just like chill out. Like your life is smooth sailing, man. I mean, I say this with full love and appreciation for your kind, but you have got to let it go. Just let it go, man, and you'll feel a lot better. You really will. I mean that truly and honestly. I I really think we have a certain subset of the population that is so like focused on min-maxing every single second of their life that they won't let themselves just like have a little fun every once in a while. Like I know you're probably thinking this guy's crazy. Why is he making such a big deal out of this? It's stupid. But there's some truth to what I'm saying here. There is some truth to what I'm saying here. If you're one of the folks in the audience who is like, yeah, I don't drink coffee because it's horrible for me and I don't want to ruin everything. And then you proceed to wake up every day thinking, God, this life sucks. I want to end it all. Why have I been put here on this miserable planet? Can we reconvene? Can we reassess? Can we, just take a second and realize a little coffee could go a long way? I mean, I hate to tell you, you know, I hate to tell you this, but it could go a long way. And I say this as someone who hates coffee. So you've got to know it's coming from a place of goodness and joy and love, um, and nothing else. Like for instance, another example of this, you know, perpetuated myth of, I don't know, living your best life that exists. I feel like when people are like so focused on their work and they're like, oh my gosh, I need to like retire. Like I need to have like a good retirement fund so I can live my life. What, okay, this is gonna sound grim, but let's be honest. What if you don't make it to retirement age? Like, what if you get hit by a meteor right here, right now? Then what are you gonna do with all that money? Is the question I ask to you. I'm not saying, spend it all right now. I am saying, reconsider, maybe just think about it, you know? Just think about it. Food for thought is all I'm presenting with you here today. Okay? I'm really just a thinker. I'm not the one who has the answers, unfortunately, as much as I know you'd love me to be. And I know we all love to be ourselves. As much as it hurts to hear, sometimes we have to be a little bit dumber, a little bit stupider, and take a few more risks, okay? I feel like it would be so much fun. Like life, I mean, life would be so much fun if everyone decided I'm going to do the thing that I like have interest in doing and not be so worried. Like just not all the time, not all the time, but every once in a while. Every so once in a while, you know? I feel like a lot, especially in like, I don't know. I feel like especially in like emerging industry, and especially people who have like a decent amount of livable money. I feel like those are the people who are the most wrapped up in it. Like the people who don't really have that much money, I feel like are like always letting loose to, and that is their problem. That's their downfall, is that they let loose too much, and the roles really need to be reversed there. Uh, I think it would benefit both parties, and everyone would be much happier for it. Having known that they are in the W zone, and I'd like for this to have a little something something, you know? I'd like for it to have a little smidgen of excitement, which I'm not getting as of current. Um, and let's go like this. Just like goof it up, gaff it up, and like hit you with some of this bad boy nature of mine that you've heard so much about. Um, and you're finally getting to see it. I've been hiding it from you all for a long time, but I do want you to know the bad boy is still there within me, and it's really begging to break out. It has been for many years now, and I've just been holding it under the sheets, pushing it deep, deep down, much like a werewolf hiding his transformation from the world around him. I consider myself somewhat of a werewolf in that sense. Okay, I'm ruining it with everything I'm doing right now. So I'm going to leave it here and let you bask in its glory. Here, let me show you the reference image once again, just for a little. Oh, that's not the reference image. That is my OBS scene doc, as they say. Doc, as they say. Okay, here it is. Reference image. And for a little bonus, are you guys still sticking around for a little bonus? I knew you would. Oh my god, that was a voice crack for the ages. Here's a little Kenny. Alrighty, in any case, that's all I got for you today. Thank you so very much for your time. I've been Pat, and you've been great. Until next time, kick rocks, pal. Bye bye.